Hello everyone, you're welcome once again to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you a snippet of how I detangle and prep my hair for wash day. I'll be using some oil, an afro comb, and some hair clips. Whatever oil you have is fine. I'm using some avocado mixed with almond oil, but whatever oil you have is fine as long as it's not too thick. It should work just fine. So in taking down the hairstyle, the only thing I would say is try to be as gentle as you possibly can. Do it when you're relaxed, when you have time, so that you're not rushing and pulling your hair unnecessarily. Because you know when you do that, you will cause breakage. I love to use oil when taking down my hair because the oil serves as a lubricant. It enables the strands to just slide smoothly against each other without that friction that would, cause tangles and breakage. So I'm done with taking down the hair, the twist. And what a lot of people do at this point is just take a comb and just comb the hair or a brush or whatever. But in my experience, that has that has caused me unnecessary breakage, and I don't do that. I don't go in with a comb and just comb the hair once I take it down. I part the hair in sections and I detangle first with my fingers, and then I only go in with a comb when I'm sure that I have removed as much of the tangles as possible. So I'm fast forwarding this part here, but I'm going to show you a more detailed view of what I mean by finger detangling. This is the section that I'm doing here, and as you can see, the part is not very neat, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by finger detangling. A lot of people ask me, like, what do you mean by finger detangling? Actually, no one has ever asked me that. I don't know why I said that, but I imagine you're curious. If you've never heard of the term, this is what it is. It's using your fingers to unravel the tangles in your hair, as opposed to going in with a hair tool like a comb or a brush. So the oil is, like I said before, it's serving as a lubricant. So it's helping those hair strands to slide smoothly against each other. And when you take down your hairstyle, your hair strands have been together in that hairstyle. They want to just, stay matted together. So in this step, you're just trying to pull, bring them apart, separate them from each other so that they don't continue to get tangled up and matted up. So what I'm doing here is just going in with my fingers, it's not one strand at a time. It's just like, a group of hairs, and you use your fingers to kind of comb through. And when you're using your fingers, you can feel where there's a knot, and then you gently unravel it. If you cannot unravel it, you just cut it out, because if you leave those knots in there, they will just become bigger, and at the end of the day, you're going to have to cut like a bigger chunk of hair. So that's what finger detangling is. Did I explain well enough? I hope so. So I'm just at this point in time, I actually noticed a knot, and I hope you can see what I'm doing there. So I'm trying to liberate as many of the strands as possible from that knot. So I'm just pulling gently. I take out each strand gently, and then when I'm left with the knots, normally I would just cut it out with a pair of scissors, but it looks like this one just kind of slid out, and that was not my intention, but well, it's out, and that's the important thing. But when you find a knot while you're doing this, you want to take a pair of scissors and just cut it out. Cut it out when you cannot unravel any further. So that's what finger detangling is all about. If I were using a comb, I would not have felt that knot. The comb would probably just pull out all those strands of hair in that knot, and that's the end of that story. So combs I find them to be very unforgiving, if you know what I mean. Whereas my fingers are more gentle, they feel the hair. If there's something wrong with my hair, I would feel it because my fingers, my fingers are in there, they feel what's going on. But the comb doesn't, especially when you're using it rather roughly. So that's what I'm doing. My fingers are going in, sort of like a comb actually. And I just keep going until I get to the end of that section. And when I'm satisfied that my fingers are going through without facing too many obstacles, then at that point, I can go in with a comb or a brush. And as you're doing this step, you're going to have shed hair. Shedding is quite normal. We shed hair normally as human beings, and when you have a hairstyle in, the hair that is shed is not able to fall off because it's held up in that hairstyle. But when you take down the style and you're combing through, then the shed hairs will normally come out. And there's a way to distinguish between shed hairs and shedding and breakage. We're not going to get into that in this video, but I'll do another video where I attempt to explain the difference. So I'm just adding more oil. I like to concentrate especially on the ends because the ends are the oldest part of the hair. They tend to be more delicate, more fragile, so they need more of that lubrication. At this point, I'm now comfortable enough that I don't have too many tangles to go in with my comb. And you can see I started combing from the ends. I didn't just take the comb and go right to the roots and just like comb down in one motion. That would be a mistake. Just comb gently when I'm sure that the ends are smooth, and then I go to the roots. Only then do I go to the roots and start combing through. And once I'm done, I put the section in a twist and move on to the next section. So here I am at the end of my detangling session. I've got 8 twists in total, and this is how I'm going to go in the shower. I'm going to wash section by section. When my hair was much shorter, I didn't wash in sections. It wasn't really necessary for me, but as my hair has grown a little bit more, I find that it's helpful to detangle at the beginning and then wash my hair in sections, because that helps me keep my hair detangled during the whole process of deep conditioning, and all the other steps. So I don't have to detangle again after I do this detangling at the beginning. So I'm just putting the clips that will help me to keep the hair away when I'm washing. I also like to keep track of how much hair I shed, just because sometimes it can be too much and it might be something that you need to investigate further. So that's it about finger detangling. I hope you learned something new, and thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.